All right, Tyler Perry fans. Now, I was just searching on YouTube to see if anyone has already posted reviews for A Fall from Grace, and a good number of people have already posted their reviews, but to be completely honest, I have not seen one review that had a title that wasn't The Wigs Fell Flat. Terrible movie. Black women are the victims. So, you know me, guys. I'm a fan like every one of you in regards to Tyler Perry. So I pretty much speak my mind when it comes to things. And I'll be posting my Fall from Grace review no later than Tuesday. I mean, I might do it on Monday, but I'm thinking that, well, the channel typically gets the most traffic between Tuesday and, Thursday. Tuesday being the day the haves and the have-nots is on. Then Wednesday when people are searching for have and have-not videos. And then Thursday is kind of like I guess you could say the last day that the channel spikes for the week, because it's a mix of have and have not, Oval, and Sisters, but mostly have and have nots. So I will post my video by Tuesday, and I was going to do a play-by-play video. I actually watched the movie twice. I did watch it one more time because I decided to push my video back. And was the movie as good the second time as the first time? Because obviously I watched the movie twice before I watched anyone else's review. That way my perception wouldn't be skewed by anyone. But I noticed the things I didn't the first time, and it did kind of decrease the value of the movie to me. But I will talk about that in another video. But this video is talking about Tyler Perry's response to the fact that he doesn't have a writer's room. You all know how it was maybe a week or two ago when he announced that, or made the video about how in 2019 he wrote all these scripts for Assisted Living, Bruh, Ruthless, House of Pain, Have and Have Nots, Oval, Sister, Young Dylan. Yeah, so for 8 shows. And that's not counting movies. He probably wrote movies as well. So he showed the stack of scripts for 8 shows and work ethic and how he doesn't have a writer's room, and he got backlash for that. And yeah, a lot of videos went pretty maybe viral. I saw a lot of videos, like if you just type in Tyler Perry writer's room or whatever, a bunch of videos will pop up that have gotten like 10 to 48,000 plus views. I didn't really jump on that train because, no need. I've already spoken about that in various other videos. But his response in a lot of interviews, whether it be Sway's Universe or some of the radio interviews and whatnot, because I played a little clip of his response at the beginning of this video, is just the fact that he tried a writer's room before about 10 years ago. And I'm going to assume that 10 years ago, we're talking about shows like House of Pain, Meet the Browns, possibly even For Better or Worse. But I know that during that time period, 10 years ago, I was just finishing up high school. So this was during the House of Pain and Meet the Browns era. And he said that when he had a writer's room, he noticed a decline in ratings. And because of that, it's because, the people felt like they weren't hearing Tyler through the program. They could tell that someone else was, at the pen, and it wasn't translating well to the show. But the thing about that is the fact that Tyler, when you look at where you were in like 2009, 2010 to where you are now in 2020, you have way more, I guess you could say, you have more responsibility now, like all the shows and movies you're doing. Because back then, I think that was definitely when Tyler Perry was making his impact on cable, along with plays and a few movies. But now you have this giant, studio and whatnot. So I'm just saying that maybe if you looked at what went wrong in the writer's room back then, and then look at what can be improved on it, perhaps maybe a writer's room could actually work now. And when you think about it this way, you have so many different shows now and I'm not saying that you should just let one show be like a guinea pig, but to be honest, what if you allowed writers on maybe 1 or 2 of your shows just to see how the ratings went? Because he literally said in another interview that typically when it comes to him writing a season of a show, for example, Have and Have Nots, Oval, If Loving You Is Wrong, he writes an entire season of a show in 2 weeks. And typically he films said season within a week or 2 weeks. And as viewers, people who have been watching these shows for seasons, it shows. That's why there's so many repetitive lines of dialogue. That explains why some seasons maybe only one, no more than like 3 days will pass by within the span of 15 to 20 plus episodes, because he writes these scripts in such a rapid rate. And literally, I would love to know how long it took him to write the script for The Oval, because you literally copy and paste sir and ma'am at least 500,000 times. I'm just saying. But I feel that, and this is not me being one of these people who are just dissing Tyler Perry. No. His work ethic is not in question. The work ethic is not in question. It's just a matter of the quality of the work, because just because you can get this stuff out in 2 weeks, the scripts, and then film it in 2 weeks, it's just one of those things where I respect those who work for Tyler Perry just because of the fact that, well, specifically the actors. I respect the people who are on these shows because they have to remember these lines. And I'm not trying to undersell what they do. That's not it at all. But when you listen to some of the dialogue, like literally go back and watch some of these episodes with subtitles, and you literally see how some of these sentences are so, well, simple. There are long pauses. If you watch my review of Sisters from last week, I said that I watched the episode of Sisters at double speed. I went on the option, what was it called, playback speed, and I went to the maximum, which is 2 times. Basically, I finished a 41-minute episode in like 19 or 20 minutes. And even at double the speed, the episode was still moving slow, because I really noticed that there were a ton of pauses and enunciations between characters. And that explains how he can fill up a 42-minute episode by dragging scenes out, because I remember saying this around episode 4 or 5 of Sisters, and I'm like, this show should probably be only 22 minutes. It definitely doesn't have enough content to be, an hour long or 42 minutes. And I really do think that the fans have been vocal. And when I say the fans, here's something I want to say. When it comes to all these people, making these rant videos like, Tyler Perry, you need to write room and whatnot, how many of these people have been watching these shows consistently? I know a lot of people who have done videos and whatnot have said that I gave up watching the shows a long time ago because they're stale and whatnot. Okay, well, that's completely fine. But I think the voice that really matters are the people like us who have been watching these shows religiously from season 1, season 3. Some people have jumped into a show midway, but either during a binge-a-thon or the availability on Hulu, or if they found the episodes online through various websites. Those are the people whose voices matter. So I'm just saying that I would love the opportunity for Tyler Perry to kind of open the door to a writer's room, or at least, at the very least, have consultants in order to kind of look over the scripts to say, hey, I was looking over, season 8, episode 12, and are we still like keeping this storyline fresh, or are we not even bringing it up again? Like, what about Tony's kidney, or what about this person's murder? What about, damn, I was literally about to quote If Loving You Is Wrong. What's the name? Joey and so many other characters who we haven't seen in so long. Like, will they ever show up? I wish that maybe, just maybe, Tyler Perry could allow some writing consultants at the very least to kind of keep things fresh, because just the burnout. I'm fearing the burnout, because trust and believe, I'm a one-man operation on this channel. So I'm not really, I get where he's coming from in terms of wanting to do everything yourself. But at the same time, you have so many different shows. You have so much money. Like, I don't see the problem. I mean, I get it, the risk of ratings dropping. But at the same time, wouldn't it be worth it just to see if the quality increases? That's all I want to know. But I don't know. Like, we know he has a bunch of BET Plus shows coming up. Bruh, Ruthless, House of Pain coming back, and Assisted Living, which is apparently going to be starring Mr. Brown and Cora. So I wonder if this is going to be like a Meet the Browns spinoff or just like a kind of a fresh revamp. Like this show is going to be Brown and Cora, but it's not going to be connected to Meet the Browns whatsoever. But I'm really interested to see if these shows are going to be quality shows. I feel like if there was any show that I would say was the worst Tyler Perry show I've ever seen, it would probably have to be The Pains. That'll probably be the show that I say is the worst show Tyler Perry has ever put out there. The Oval and Sisters, I feel like they're much more watchable. But at the same time, I mean, well, yeah, because I feel like Sisters, just the camera work. I just adore the camera work. The chemistry between the women are there. It's just the fact that, you know, some of the storylines feel a bit stale, but at the same time, I just love the cinematography of the show. Yeah, and plus the acting is better on that show than it is on the Oval. I will say that much. But overall, should Tyler Perry respond to the haters? Well, it's like I always say, at the end of the day, he's the one with the studio. He's the one with the resources. I'm just a guy in my apartment who just happens to be a fan of Tyler Perry work. But the problem is, we have seen and we have known, well, we know that Tyler Perry could put out quality work. But when he's pumping out so much so quickly, that quality over quantity thing begins to diminish. It's like the quantity is at 89%, but then the quality is at a funky 11%. So I hope in the future he might reconsider. I know we brought up the fact that there are some other opportunities for shows that would allow writers, but I think that maybe, just maybe, a couple people could come aboard some of his shows right now to kind of polish it. That's all I'm saying. Like, I just feel like, I don't know. Maybe a test audience. I would love to be in a test audience, you know, like, for example, let's say if, hey, here are the 3 new episodes of the Haves and the Have-Nots or whatever. Let's see what the fans think. Man. And like Sisters in the Oval, I mean, those shows, I get it. When a show is new, the season 1, you're testing things out. But the problem is when you're halfway through the first season and then people are saying the same thing every week about, legitimate complaints, that says something. So by the time, if the shows get renewed for season 2, if those things don't change, well, what does that say about the writing? Do you listen to the fans? Because trust and believe, when I say listen to the fans, I mean people like myself and the people on this channel, people who have been fans for years and who want better from Tyler Perry, not just the fact that he's putting out new stuff. And it's one thing to support something, especially if it's from a black company or whatever, but it's another to support something for good quality. I guess it's the basis of what I'm saying. But to Tyler Perry, you know, keep working hard, but at the same time, maybe you could add some seats to the table you constructed to allow for writers to help, at the very least, fine-tune the shows. Because the ratings are there. Like, I would not be surprised if the Oval gets renewed for a season 2. I'm not 100% sure about Sisters, though. Just looking off the ratings alone. I'm not saying that the ratings for Sisters are terrible, but I think that the Oval is beating them pretty badly each week. But that's just my opinion. Well, you can look at the numbers if you don't believe me. But with that being said, let me know what you think in the comment section below. And I've actually done a couple videos about the haves and the have-nots, about extended episodes, if the show ends, how would I want it to end. I would hope that when it comes to the finale of the haves and the have-nots, when or if that ever occurs, I hope he doesn't just write a season in 2 weeks. I hope he takes his time and makes sure things are right. Like, for example, if there was like a test group or whatever, I would love to be invited to that. Just say, hey, I'm wrapping up the haves and the have-nots. I want to make sure I close up every storyline. That's why I brought in you super fans. Could you let me know if we've checked off every box? I would love to be a part of that, if that ever happens, which I doubt. But with that being said, leave your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll talk to you in the next video.